What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to Park to Prem. It's episode number 130, and today we make our Champions League debut, but we have to start on this page because I completely forgot to mention it yesterday. Vinko Kosic is back at the club. Yes, the record sale he's back here. I don't really know what to say. I'm a bit flabbergasted that it's happened, and it's been a few months since he joined us. Yes, we sold him, of course, to Aston Villa for £46 million. We have brought him back on a free transfer. He's homegrown at club. He's a pretty tasty player. He's probably never going to play for us, but you know what? We'll bring him in. Bit of sentimental value. He's valued at £32 million. If we can sell him on for half of that, it's immediately a good bit of business as far as I'm concerned, just from a money-making perspective. But he is homegrown at club, which is a really, really important factor. Of course, in the Champions League, you need 4 players who are homegrown at club. Just to look at our current squad, we actually have 6 players now classified as homegrown at club, including Volta, who I feel like has been getting a lot of unnecessary hate. Now, unfortunately, he broke his arm, so he's not actually played yet this year, but I really feel like people undersell how good this guy is. He's only 20 years old, he's homegrown at club, which, as I've just mentioned, is a massive, massive bonus. And I'll tell you what, as far as advanced playmakers on attack go, I'd say he's blooming good. I mean, the only 2 attributes below 14 are, well, actually there's 3, are teamwork, decisions and dribbling. But everything else is so good on this guy, so it really can't be understated, and he joins the likes of Kosic in the homegrown club. So anyway, that's Vinko Kosic. He's back. I'm sure some of you are delighted, some of you are probably face-palming. If you're one of those people face-palming, you're out there, I can see you. Just remember what happened with CC. Have a little faith. Brought in for 15 million, sold on for 30. I'm getting a sense of deja vu. Who knows, maybe we'll be signing CC back in a couple of years on a free. But anyway, that is the transfer dealings. There hasn't been anything else that's happened because, of course, in the Premier League, you can't make transfers after the season starts. That is actually set to change next year, which I'm quite looking forward to. But looking at this league table, the game that we have today in the league against Manchester United feels huge. And while our Champions League group is here, let's just start on this. This is a group and a half, isn't it? Yes, we've got Borussia Dortmund, Juventus, and also Sociedad. It could have been an easier group, couldn't it? Now, we were 4th seeds, unfortunately. We always knew it was going to be tricky. We'll see how we get on. I'm not feeling great about it, but we do open up our European campaign today with the first game of today's episode against Dortmund. But anyway, since you were last here, we've played 4 matches in the league, and we need to acknowledge this. Guys, we have not conceded a goal yet this season. What an incredible start to the year. There's one result that may stand out more than the others. We'll get onto it in a second, but first and foremost, let's talk about this Sheffield United result. A 3-0 away win, Matasevic with the first, and Shvetsov with a couple in this game. A couple of gifts coming our way. Making the most of set pieces, which is something that we've done for the last few years, and it was great to see us doing it again here with the initial goal. Shvetsov then with 1 tidy finish, and well, what's better than 1 tidy finish? 2 tidy finishes in the 81st minute, latched onto a mistake, tucked it away. 3-0. Good little result, but not quite as good as the next result. At home against Manchester City, we went to our more conservative formation, the 4-1-3-2 kind of defensive system, you know the one. We dominated, and it was a bit of a weird domination because you'll notice the stats in the bottom left, they look kind of normal, and then suddenly you look at clear-cut chances created and you see that we had 7. The other mad thing is, we didn't even take the lead in this game until the 76th minute. Shvetsov with a couple of goals, first in the 76th minute, second not long after in the 87th. Dylan Turnbull on off the bench, got a goal to complete the rout. What an insane performance. Absolutely nuts. Shvetsov picking up man of the match. A great performance by the entirety of our back 4, which you absolutely love to see. However, it came at a cost. And that cost was Rot. I've been told that's how to say his name. Nico Rot, I believe. Please tell me if that's correct, German viewers. He's torn his calf muscle. He's out for 3 months. We spent £60 million on him, and he's just out with a serious long-term injury. He hadn't had the greatest of starts, to be fair, although I feel like that average rating is dragged down by the half the game he played against Man City. It's kind of ruined his physicals a little bit. I'm a tiny bit concerned. That does mean that lucky old Marlon Ox has now come in at left-back and is loving it. Unfortunately for Ox, he's suspended because of that sending-off he had in the Europa League last year, so for the start of today's episode, Deacon is in at left-back. But yeah, it was a great win against Man City, but a painful long-term injury. Anyway, we then took on Southampton, a weird game this one, 2 headers for Andy Eric, the first in the 31st minute, the second in the second half. Was not too different, a tidy little result, and well, just to go back to the injury whilst you see this, I feel really, really fortunate, and I was thinking it in my head not that long ago, the fact that we've not really had any massive first-team players get injuries where they're out for months upon months upon months in recent years, and then Rott went and got injured. I feel like I've cursed it. Let's hope that this isn't going to be the year of injuries. I mean, so far it's the year of clean sheets. 5 in a row is nuts, and well, it continued against Bournemouth. A bit of a scrappy goal, but Stevie Norman, club record transfer, breaking his goal-scoring duck. Yes, a bit of a scrappy goal, but he's going to take it. Good to see him get his first goal. Hopefully that is going to spark a little bit of confidence into the 19-year-old. Of course, massive, massive expectations on his shoulders at £68 million. I feel like you expect goals. I feel like that's a pretty fair assessment of things. But yes, today we are going to be taking on Dortmund to start today's episode. We've then got Manchester United, who currently sit in second. Just to look at Dortmund quickly, their key player is Matthias Solto. He's quite good. He's very good. How does he compare to Norman, actually? Similar kind of player. I mean, considering Norman's only 19, I feel pretty good about Norman now, but Solto is still very, very good. Just to quickly touch upon the league table, I feel like I'm excited to get into the game against Dortmund, but it is worth just looking at this. We're top. We're doing very, very well. You can see Man City and Liverpool and Chelsea all have dropped a decent number of points in the first 5 games. We take on United today. If we beat them, then we start to dream of a title. But there is still a long, long way to go, of course. And well, going into today's European game, I already talked about the absence of Rott. Unfortunately, as we've already talked about, we have got a few injuries to Volta and Kosic, but the good news is, besides that, we're pretty much at full strength. Now, I gave Norman the start last game, but you know what? I think we're going to bring in Turnbull, play him as the complete forward. In terms of the rest of the team, it's largely settled. Obviously, defensively, we've been top drawer. I do wonder if the Leskinen change to be a deep line playmaker on defend has really been the difference maker for us. I've noticed he sits a lot deeper even when we have possession, and it's kind of been interesting because if we just look at the home screen here, Morrigan in goal has a 98% pass completion. Now, we encourage him to pass it out from the back, we encourage him to take it short, but with the kind of slightly deeper position that Leskinen plays, Morrigan always has a pass on, and it really has made a surprisingly large difference there at the back. Anyway, Matasevic has settled in reasonably well to his new regular starting role. He's got a goal and an assist already. Of course, he's now natural at centre mid, so we're expecting magical things. And he is a very good Mazzala. I've been pretty impressed with him so far, and he's still got a load of potential to fulfil. Really hoping he's going to do that for us. Andre, of course, bit of pressure on him perhaps after the bids that we rejected. He's got 2 assists in 5 to start the year. I'd argue that's solid. Also made his debut for the Brazilian national team. Mateus Aurelio, who has been dropped by the Brazilian national team, he's had a great start to the season as well. He got 2 assists in the entirety of last season. He's got 2 in 5 already. So second season, he's getting there. He's got used to life in Taulor. It's a little bit different to Brazil. I feel like you've got to ease them in a little bit. Although at this point, I guess there is a small Brazilian population developing in Taulor just because of our starting 11. But anyway, let's get into this first game. We are at home against Dortmund, our first ever Champions League night. We experienced the Europa League last year. It was okay. I feel like this is a little bit bigger, isn't it? Looking at their team then, who have they got? Is there anyone who has a catchy name? Who is their captain? Herb. He's good. Oh my lord, he's very good, isn't he? Oh, he's on £300,000 a week. That's a lot of money. They've got Rao Tenglong, who is a Chinese player. They signed him for £14 million from Real Madrid this year. He looks very, very good, doesn't he, as far as advanced playmakers go? He's got 20 vision. I mean, he must have had laser eye surgery or something to have vision that good. It's like cybernetic. They've got Schumacher in defence as well. He's good, isn't he? He's very... I feel like being told that Solto is their key player is a little bit deceptive. Just from those few players that we've clicked on, they're very good. Right, I don't really know what to expect going into this game now. Of course, we are the 4th seed in our group. The board expectation is to finish top 2 in our Champions League group, however, and to make it to the first knockout round. So to be honest, we kind of need to be winning these kind of home games, but based on what I've just witnessed, I'm scared, and well, I should be even more scared. 7 minutes gone. Florian Strobel That's not how you say his name, is it? That's not a pronunciation. He scored a header at the back post. Valencia whips it in. I mean, I'm tempted to have a look at how good Florian is. He's very good at heading. Just judged off that. He's got 12 heading. Oh my word. What have they injected into him? This is not... They've got a ridiculous team. Oh my... Did they win the Bundesliga? Sorry, I need to check. Did they win the Bundesliga last year? Okay, they did. That makes more sense. I noticed there as well, they've got Diego Simeone as their manager. This might seem a bit negative, everyone, but I am going to pause it and go more defensive. Unfortunately, Deacon can't play left back, so we'll put him on wing back on defend and play him in the position that he's learning to play slowly but surely. He's now competent at left wing back, everyone. Unfortunately, with the few injuries the injury and the suspension that we've got to our first and second choice left backs, it's a bit of a makeshift job in that area of the pitch. The silver lining right now is the fact that it's only 1-0 and we are actually having quite a lot of possession, which is nice, but we kind of need to make something of it. I guess as long as it remains a one-goal game, there's a chance. And while Mateus Aurelio, could he unleash something special here? We'll take it. We'll take it. It's a Towlaw special. It's a launched throw-in forward. It doesn't... I don't think it even hits Turnbull. It kind of just bypasses Turnbull. There's a bit of a confusion in the back. Somehow it falls to Svetsov. I don't know what to say. What an insane goal. And not insane as in good, just insane as in I don't really know what we've witnessed. It's 1-1 here. We're doing fine. We've had one shot and it's gone in. We're FMing them. I'm going to tell the boys I'm not happy though. Who's deep in 4? Andre seems deep in 4. I mean, that's philosophical. Let's just pull him over to the side. There's a lot to come from you, Andre. Believe it. Look at that. Motivated. Motivated. That's me, Mr. Motivation. Print it on a shirt. Right. Oh, it's another set piece. We've already conceded one of these. Can we do better on this one? We head it out. Oh, my word. Please, not like this. Soretta off the line. Thank you very much, you babe. Schumacher it wouldn't have counted. But heroic defending at the back, whatever way you look at it. An hour gone. It's 1-1. I think it's time for the secret weapon, everyone. Stevie Norman, come on down. Matizovic hasn't had a good game either. So you know what? We'll bring in... I think we'll bring in McCassie for his defensive prowess, but then we'll swap him with Leskinen. Oh, that's a bit... Actually, no, I don't like that. Can McCassie play? McCassie, can you play Mazzala? Can you play it? It won't let me click. He's playing Mazzala, but I just want to check. I've never really looked at it since we changed our system. Mazzala? I mean... You know what? He's actually quite good at Mazzala, and I've never really realised. Like, he's not superb at it. Let's not get too carried away here. But he's quite good at winning the ball back and being a bit of a terrier in the middle. And I feel like that's needed from you, Mazzala. They've got to be able to do a little bit of a defensive shift. McCassie, maybe you've been a Mazzala this whole time, and I've not realised. Norman's on the pitch as well. Still hasn't scored in a live com. He scored last game against Bournemouth. Would I take 1-1 here? I mean, I'll take 2-1. Come on, Jarno. Hits it. Oh, I'll take 2-1 to the bank and back. Jarno Leskinen, you beautiful, beautiful man. Torelle. Party in the market in Finland if we win this. Just everyone shout Torelle. Write it in the comments. That's not pronounced very well. I'm sorry. I've tried. What a finish. Did you get it? Okay, let's just stop. Right, we've got one last change in us. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to bring in Markovsky, and I've got to do it like this because it's a bit annoying. But Markovsky, who is a player who you will see a lot of this year, I'm certain of. I'm training him to play centre-back, which I think is where he'll play, because as far as complete wing-backs go, he's a little bit... I don't want to say he's a little bit poo, but he's a little bit poo. But you know what? As a defensive wing-back, I think he can do a job for us. I mean, he's not going to be great there, but he's more natural there than some of our other players. Mateus Aurelio as well. Just don't wander too far forward here, Mateus. We're 2-1 up now. There's 3 minutes left. One last shout of demand more. 1 minute left on the clock. We don't deserve to win this, but we've only gone and won it. Leskinen, you beautiful, beautiful man. A 92% pass completion for him. Ran the show. Picks up man of the match. Mateus Aurelio also having a great performance at right back, which you love to see. I am very, very happy with that result. We've not kept a clean sheet, though. So the clean sheet run in all competitions is ruined, although we still have a chance to keep it going, I suppose, in the Premier League. Worth noting Cancina, who I'm very, very excited about, on loan at Juventus. He's been called up to the Argentine national team. He scored 2 goals for them as well. Does he have a work permit yet? No, and I can't apply for one for over another 3 months. Can we write to the Home Office, or does the Home Office give out work permits? I don't know. It's definitely not the Home Office. I should write to them personally. How does this guy not have a work permit? Answers on a postcard. Anyway, normally I'd cut out the fluff in between, but I'm in a talkative mood, in case you can't tell. Sometimes I hit start record, and I've got verbal diarrhea, and there's just lots of stuff to talk about. Today is one of those days. Far too excited to play Football Manager, far too excited to be talking. We've only got 3 days to this United. I should probably be resting the players, shouldn't I, really? Right, who's tired? Come here, lads. Go and have a little rest. Just 2 days. 2 days, that'll be fine. Just thinking in terms of team for this upcoming game. So Rot is going to be, unfortunately, unavailable. But Ox is back, a left wing back. How did Deacon do? He didn't do great, did he? But then he was expected to play a position he doesn't really play, which isn't really fair to judge him on. I'm really tempted to play Makati as a Mazzala. I'm going to do it. I'm sorry, Matasevic. I love Matasevic for his aerial ability and his set piece taking, but when Leskinen's on the pitch, Matasevic, you're never going to take anything. Sorry, mate. You're just not. So with that in mind, even though he's quite good in the air, Makasi, he's the man. I feel like for the last 2 years I've sat asking what should I do with Makasi, and I still don't really know. Today during this episode is the first time I've gone, Mazzala? It's a bit different when I was just labelling him and everyone else a box-to-box midfielder. Somehow I feel like it sounds more intellectual to suggest that anyone could be a Mazzala. I don't know, box-to-box just sounds basic. When you say Mazzala, you sound like you know what you're talking about. Anyway, Jackie Ogier is doing very well in training. Look at those improvements. I mean, it's not incredible, I'm going to be honest, but I signed him with the thought that he had potential. He's not really shown that potential, but performance-wise, he's doing the business. And at £44 million, people scoffed, people laughed, and you know what, maybe they were right to laugh at the time, but I feel like he's doing a job for us. Anyway, I noticed here that Liverpool and Chelsea are playing each other. A draw would be divine. Come on, Football Manager, give us the draw. Don't want either of them winning. Don't want either of them getting points. Liverpool fortunate to win. Did I just see Andre Dezelle excited by our form? Andre, what are you doing these days? You're a free agent. He's not going to want to come back, is he? Could we? I was hoping we could maybe offer him a new staff role, but he's not retired yet, unfortunately. It would have been useful, wouldn't it? But yeah, Manchester United's going to be a tricky next game. They are second in the league. We're away from home against them. I feel like we almost have to go with the more defensive system. It worked wonders against Manchester City. I feel like we've really started to come into our own with the system. You may have noticed that when I switched to it against Dortmund, I have also, in that tactic, switched the box-to-box midfielders, or what was box-to-box midfielders, to Mazzalas. Just feels like the most logical thing to do, and it's worked pretty well for us so far. Whole team, though, is really, really good. One thing that we've always struggled with, and indeed we still kind of struggle with it now, is that realistically I can't completely change our team shape. I can't just switch to a 4-2-3-1 without having to make a sub or two, just because with our starting formation, that versatility in terms of players who can play a few different spots just isn't really there. However, what I'm finding, at least this year so far, is that the defensive system has worked really, really well, and the attacking systems work well, and just switching between the two, like you saw in that Dortmund game there, where it's not really working for us. You know, switching to the defensive system, whilst it's not a drastic change, we're able just to really, I guess, crowd out the midfield and then hit teams on the break. We have so much pace in the midfield. It's one of our big, big assets, is just how quick we can break. You see it with Turnbull, you see it with Schwetzom, and you see it across the midfield. Even players like Andre and Andy Eric, and indeed Makasi or Matasevic, you know, they can get forward quickly. In the wing backs, they're not half slow either. But an away trip to Old Trafford isn't really won on how quick your players are, unfortunately. It's very often won on how well you can defend. And while we go into this game with 5 clean sheets in a row this season, we are going to start, I think, with the more conservative system. I am actually going to make a change here as well. I'm going to bring in Norman for Shvetsov. I'm thinking I'm going to have to play Shvetsov as the pressing forward, just because Norman doesn't have the aggression, although he does have the work rate. Doesn't really make use of his dribbling, and his concentration just isn't quite there. But he has got good physicals. You know what? I'm going to play Norman as the advanced forward, and I'm going to play Shvetsov as the pressing forward. I might be tempted to change that and swap them around. We'll see on the half starts. The rest of the team, I think we're going to go with it like this. I'm just wondering if I want to change anything in the midfield. Obviously, we're bringing in McCassie. I think his defensive ability is actually really valuable in this kind of game where we're going to have a little bit less of the ball. Volta probably shouldn't even be on the bench. He's still not quite fit, so we'll bring in Mr. Useless for him. Worth noting, Mr. Useless is showing good signs of development. He is only 19 years old, and he could have Soretta syndrome. We could see a burst of improvement, I hope, from him. I feel like I've been blessed with a few players who have really just exploded when it comes to their development in a year or two. I look at players like Soretta, like Andre, like Markovsky as well, just during his loan spell. It's almost an unfair metric to judge most players by, because we've had a few players who have had crazy development, but you can't really expect that to be the norm. I feel like more so than ever since the recent training reworks in the last couple of Football Managers, the youth development side of things does sometimes feel a bit more random. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but in previous years of Football Manager, it was quite easy to work out who were going to be your really good players and who weren't. And you could not game the system, but you could kind of look at a player, look at their personality and go, that guy's going to develop and be really good. And they just would be, whereas that doesn't always happen in FM20, which I quite like. What I don't like is the fact that we have just lost our clean sheet record. It was a near post header. Delict. I mean, who is marking Delict there? Who is that? Who is that? Sorry, excuse. It was Mateus Aurelio. No, it was fine. It was fine. It's not his fault. But that is another set piece conceded, which is a bit frustrating. Well, we might need to defend another set piece here. It's played short to Delict. He's already got one. And now he's got 2. He's very good at this counting malarkey, Delict. Well, that sucks, doesn't it? It's just 2 set pieces. What do you say about that one? I mean, I'm going to be honest, at 2 goals down, it kind of feels like, what's the point in trying to play defensive? Let's just go on the attack. And considering it's just one click of a button, why not just go on the attack? I'm going to get shouty as well. Half an hour gone. Mateus Aurelio, do your thing. Use your weapon. He's kind of half used it there. Now with Leskinen. It's worth noting that with Norman up top and not having Turnbull on the pitch, we do lose a little bit of our physical prowess we have with our forwards. Although Mateus Aurelio, how have we missed that, Shvetsov? What a run by the right back. But no, just going back to what I was saying, with Norman coming in, he's not a tall player, he's not particularly physically imposing. When we have Turnbull and Shvetsov on the pitch, especially on long throws, it's just great to have 2 strikers who are so good in the air. So I do wonder if with Norman we lose just a little bit of what makes us really, dangerous, I guess, on the attack. Anyway, 40 minutes gone. We've kind of steadied the ship. We conceded 2 in very quick succession. Since then, we've not seen a great deal in terms of danger in our box. Although, with 20 seconds played over the added time, I'm a bit concerned about a highlight starting. Although I might not be. Shvetsov scores 1-on-1, should score it, does score it. Mateus Aurelio, 3 assists for the year. Count them, everyone, with me. 1, 2, 3. Already had a better year than last year, and we're only 6 league games into the season. This is sexy football, by the way. Look at that. Oh, what a ball. Shvetsov breaks away. Who was doing the defending there? That was shocking by Mendes, but we're not going to complain. 6th of the season for Shvetsov. That's for all the Shvetsov haters out there. That is now 6 goals in 7 matches in all competitions. He's pretty blooming good, is this Shvetsov kid. Anyway, going to get a bit shouty. We can't get too happy. We can't get too positive. We're still losing this game. And we do need to improve things here. And a good team talk is hopefully going to help us on our merry way. An hour gone. Norman's not turned up. Dylan, welcome back, my friend. Get on the pitch. In the midfield, McCassie's not played well either. You know what? We're going to move Leskinen forward and we're going to bring in the Kaiser, our secret Dutch weapon. Look how good this guy is, by the way. Absolutely insane for a deep line playmaker. We're going to move Leskinen up in the midfield. Going to drop him in as a new deep line playmaker. And then Mateus Aurelio. Why are all my fullbacks getting injured? Right, Kevin, against your former club, mate. Former Manchester United graduate. What can Kevin Deacon show us? Oh, I hope that's not a long-term injury, because we've already lost Rott, who was a brand new left wing-back who I was so excited about, and then he got injured for 3 months. Ox, to be fair, has stepped up quite well since coming in. Andy Eric, oh, it hits the side netting. Oh, I just feel sad. Now I'm just worried about that injury. I know I should be worrying about this game and trying to get a result. Let's commit a few more men forward, shall we now? I don't want to go over-attacking, but we kind of need a bit of a roll of the dice. Let's go on attacking for the last few minutes. But away from home against United, it's been a close game. Could we get a late goal? There's going to be a highlight. Although, concerningly, it is in our half, and we are committing a fair few men just high up the field here. So I'm half anticipating us just to concede. It's Worm here. Tries to play it, gets blocked. Go on, Jarno. He doesn't get there. Andy Eric says, this is my ball. Look at him run. Run, Andy. Gives it to Shretov. What a breakaway this could be. Back post, Andre. Knocked it down to Dylan Turnbull, who tucks it away. And it's 2-2 here. What a huge goal. Turnbull on off the bench to score. That's why he's here. Andre with the assist. That's why we haven't sold him. Now the question is, do I stay on attacking? Do I stay on... There's 3 minutes left. You know what? Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. We're staying on attack. I may live to regret it and cry. We could score again. Why not dare to dream? There's a highlight here, and it's a goal kick, and I want to believe that we could do something, but it feels unlikely. Leskinen heads it forward. There is no time left in this game. It feels like this is destined to be a draw. Although, Andre wins it. Could he do something magical? He hits it just wide with what is probably going to be the last kick of the game. I mean, we had 2 clear good chances. We took them. We took our opportunities. We were unfortunate with 2 set pieces, but we have fought back well here. And 2-2, I mean, we'll take it. Great little fight back against the team who are by far and away, you know, a big rival for us. A great comeback. Great salvage a draw. Turnbull, what an inspired sub. Why did I not start him, everyone? That's the real question, isn't it? Oh, that's annoying. Mateus Aurelio out for 4 to 5 weeks. That's not ideal. Also, we've injured one of my star England players for 2 to 3 months as well. Oh, it just... There's injuries all over the shop that are not helping me here. Oh, Aurelio, Mateus. What games have we got coming up in the next 4 to 5 weeks? So we've got Luton, Birmingham, Sociedad. I mean, I'll be honest, looking through these, it probably could be a hell of a lot worse. In terms of when we'll be back next episode, I think we're going to come back for the second of our few games against Juventus. I feel like that is a good time to come back. It'll be at the start of November. There's a few Champions League games between then and now, including against Sociedad and at home against Juventus. But that 4th game of the group stage, I feel like after that game, we will have a good idea of, are we going to need to live-com the Dortmund and Sociedad games? Is it going to go down to the wire? Or can we get, you know, in quite a good position, which after an opening win in the group, I don't know, I feel pretty good about things on the whole, and hopefully Sociedad are going to be there for the taking. Although, as we experienced last year, we're not particularly good against the Spanish teams now, are we? But anyway, guys, let me know what you thought of today's episode. I'm pretty happy with the 2 results on the whole. Great to see Shvetsov banging in some goals. Leskinen coming to the rescue. Turnbull coming to the rescue too. No clean sheet, which is a little bit of a shame after how we started the year. But you know what? In the grand scheme of things, I cannot be happier with how we've started this year. We're looking very, very solid. You can see currently top of the league. Norwich tied with us. United trailing away. And you can see Chelsea struggling. The champions, they are not at the races right now. They won the Champions League and the Premier League. They're 6 points adrift after 6 games. I've got a sneaking suspicion they'll be on our heels before too long. But yes, that's all from me today, guys. Let me know what you thought of the matches. Did I make the right changes, the wrong changes? What would you have done differently? Who stood out to you? Who were the big performers? I want to know your thoughts down below. If you've enjoyed today's episode, drop a like on it. I'll see you guys again soon. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.